Let's make some more holiday magic. And to make a good deed, hit the like and subscribe.
Hello! As I promised you last week, I've got another tradition for you today. And this tradition revolves around the Christmas socks. I know that in USA you usually hang them for Santa, in Europe here we usually hang them out for St. Nicholas, but it doesn't matter for whom and when you hang it, because this tradition is more about your family, not the gift bearers necessarily. We've done it in our family since the kids were babies and they still love it. Although they're already teenagers and teenagers are supposed to hate everything. Luckily it's not always true. And they still love this tradition a lot. So what's it all about? Well, I made a sock for each of our family members. And then every year everyone gets another ornament on the sock. And everybody chooses their ornaments according to what marked their year. Here are some examples. When my eldest one was little, she was really very much into fairies, and then she started climbing and she had a pen pal. And my middle one was very much into elves and gnomes for a long time, so we've got a lot of these here. And my little one is very much into fish, as you can see. He chooses fish a lot. It's really fun to see what marked our year even more than a decade ago. And it's always fun to look back and to just admire how we changed through the years. Everybody chooses their own logo of the year, and it could be anything really. I usually make these decorations from felt, but sometimes their chosen thing allows for a bit more creativity, so I made a fish net from a piece of net for fruits and a little booklet. I made juggling sticks from toothpicks. You can add other stuff, like here when I got my new bone, I made it because it's partly from metal, and you can always play around. Once we started doing acro yoga, I made this one when the flyer is popping up and down. So you can always adjust it so that it's more fun and more creative and better looking in general. Now let's see how I did this year's ornaments, and I really hope you try some, because this is such a wonderful tradition and everybody loves it. Really, even the alpha male loves it. And he's a grown-up man. So try.
Here's what you'll need. Some pieces of felt. You don't need a lot for these small ornaments, so feel free to use scraps. That's what I always do. Felt can be synthetic or natural wool, which is much nicer to work with because it's a bit sturdier and doesn't fall apart so easily, but it is also sometimes hard to find and more expensive, and sometimes only available in limited colors. So I save that for projects that kids will use, like toys and stuff, and for this I use synthetic felt scraps left over from other projects. Then, of course, you'll need scissors to cut and PVA glue to glue the ornaments onto the cuff. You'll also need something to draw your designs. It could be a pencil, a white pencil, or washable pen for drawing on fabric. Also, a scrap piece of paper and pencil could come in handy if you want to draw sketches onto the paper first. Then there are some optional tools like punches. I use hole punches for eyes and also permanent markers to draw the eyes, fins, and other small details. So we've chosen our motifs and I started sketching. For things that I needed to research first, I searched for references and sketched a bigger version first to get the proportions right. Then I sketched the small miniature version that will actually be on the sock. When I finished my tiny sketches, I cut them out so I can use them as a template on a felt. A word of advice here. Try to simplify the shapes because felt, especially synthetic, is not the best suited for detailed work. Then I just cut the designs out. There is no secret to this. I use normal office scissors, they work great with felt. My son wanted an exact species of fish. Again, he always chooses fish or something to catch fish or other marine life. That's his jam. My daughter wanted an ice skate because she started ice skating a lot this year and she loves it, just like I did when I was her age. She got ice skates from Grandpa Frost last December, so now we often go ice skating together and that's our quality time. And sport at the same time. It's very practical if you and your kiddo like the same sport, don't you agree? And the firstborn, who just entered high school, chose their logo. I went with a chameleon, a logo for schoolism, because I love this online art school and I've been studying with them a lot this year. I also met some very friendly artists in their Discord study group, and I couldn't be happier about it. Sometimes I sketch directly on felt though, as you can see when I'm drawing octopus onto violet felt with white oil pencils, also called China marker. My alpha male caught his first octopus and many more after several years of trying and was so happy about it that he chose that. Now you know where the little one gets his fishing enthusiasm from. Then all we have to do is glue them on. Just watch that you take the right person's sock. Find a nice empty spot on a cuff and apply glue to your ornament. Glue it pretty liberally because the felt will suck a lot of it in. If your design is composed of multiple elements, first put down the biggest one and then add the details like I did with the ice skates. When the glue is dry, you can draw on the details like eyes and fins if you haven't done that already. I recommend using permanent markers for this because synthetic felt doesn't take paint very well. But you can always try it on a scrap piece of felt, maybe it will work with your felt. Now I'm making a mess when I'm gluing it, but it will be alright because this glue dries transparent and the felt will suck it in so it won't be visible once dried. As you can see, sometimes I choose to let the designs hang over the edge. I think it looks cute and it breaks the monotony, and it's especially welcome when the cuff and the chosen decorations are both dark colored, so this way I get some contrast from the white sock. Of course, you can always glue your decorations to the sock itself as well. There is just a slightly bigger chance that the ornaments will fall off after several uses because when the good men fill the socks, they stretch, and that could be too much of a strain on the ornament. But you could sew the designs on and you won't have this problem. Here's my sock with this year's chameleon, a paintbrush, a stink bug when I did the research on them, femur when they replaced my hip, my PhD booklet when I finished my PhD, partner acrobatics pose. And here's my alpha male sock with a basketball, no need to explain, bumblebee that he studied, an orange hockey stick, a crayfish from the project that he leads, fish of course, and an interactive flyer and base for partner acrobatics, because we're both into it. My son's sock is full of fish and marine life as you can see, but it also has his favorite book, The Complete Amateur Naturalist. And on the other side, there is Very Hungry Caterpillar, which a part is fallen off. I fixed that after filming. A bunch more fish and a crab in a net made from grocery fruit mesh. When he chose sack for fishing, I embroidered it with thread. It was quite a challenge to represent. My middle one's sock with this year's skate, Elfin Girl, Harry Potter, Scout's neckerchief, another elf because she's been into elves since forever, and Lion, her favorite animal, with embroidered mane. My high schooler's sock with her gymnasium logo. This is swimming, crawl technique when she learned it, a couple of her favorite animals when she was little, and a bullet journal. That's our thing. A snowman when she was a baby for her first snow, and a handstand when she constantly practiced handstands. A letter for pen paling, climbing hold, and of course a fairy. She was very much into fairies when she was little. This is how it all looked when the sock was filled. If you like this little tradition, click the like button, and for more ideas how to make the world a happier place, do subscribe. You'll get tips on how to plan your year, how to set up your planners so that it will be so pretty that you'll want to use it in my bullet journal video. And in spring, a whole series of nature journaling is coming up, and a lot of other cute ideas in the meantime. These kind of little things make life more memorable, according to science and according to people who try them. The gifts are nice, but when I asked my kids what they love most about these holidays, they said that these ornaments. Go figure. I guess the little things really are the best. See you next week with some bujo painting and lots of tips for busy moms, artists, and alike. See ya!